Hold the light right there. Sir?
For centuries, tales of mysterious creatures were brushed off as myths. But now, new footage from deep forests and remote places is making people wonder, were those stories real all along? So get ready to watch all those terrifying clips that left experts and locals questioning everything we thought we knew. In Navajo culture, few legends bring more fear than the Skinwalker, a shaman said to gain unnatural power by performing forbidden rituals, allowing them to transform into animals and even copy human voices. One case came from Uinta County near the well-known Skinwalker Ranch, where police body cam footage showed a pale, thin figure walking on claw-like feet before vanishing into the dark at an inhuman speed.
Hold the light right there. Sir? You okay? Stay with me. Oh my God.
Another sighting, recorded in Arizona, showed a huge pale shape rushing from the trees, frightening nearby animals and hunters alike. Locals say when the forest goes completely silent, it's a warning that something far stronger is already watching. Caged creature.
You didn't want to...
A group of friends exploring an abandoned cemetery stumbled upon something they could never forget. Hidden behind overgrown vines was a massive beast, half human, half wolf, locked in a rusted metal cage. The creature thrashed wildly, its growls echoing through the empty graveyard, as if it had been trapped there for ages. None of them knew who had put it there, or why fear took over, and they decided to leave before it managed to break free. Whatever that thing was, it wasn't meant to be found. Werewolf Files.
It's broken.
From Wisconsin's Beast of Bray Road to France's old legends, stories of werewolf-like beings never seem to fade. People describe the same form: tall, powerful, walking upright with glowing eyes. One man exploring an abandoned site claimed he found what looked like the body of one, its jaw open wide and teeth bared. In another case, a woman searching for her lost dog saw a wolf-like creature walking on two legs, watching her before disappearing into the dark. She believes her missing pet and the creature were somehow connected. Whatever these things are, they no longer hide in the shadows. They move like they belong here. Dover Entity.
What he saw was something that doesn't resemble any animal that anybody has ever seen before. It was climbing along a broken down stretch of stone wall.
In April 1977, the quiet town of Dover, Massachusetts, turned uneasy after 3 teens reported seeing a strange creature along the same dark road on consecutive nights. The first was Bill Bartlett, who spotted it clinging to a stone wall. Pale skin, long fingers, and a head almost as big as its body. When it turned toward him, 2 round, glowing eyes stared back, and then it crawled into the woods. The next night, John Baxter saw the same figure, followed by Abby Brabham, who described identical features. None of them had spoken before, yet their drawings matched perfectly. Locals later called it the Dover Demon, a name that still gives the town chills. Crawling figure. Late one night, a security camera captured something strange moving outside a closed shop. At first, it looked like a person crawling on all fours, but its movement was jerky, almost unnatural. The figure clawed at a hanging banner as if frustrated, then froze. When the camera zoomed in, its face came into view, pale, distorted, and not quite human. Within seconds, it crawled out of frame and vanished. Some say it was a ghostly presence, others believe it was something far older, a creature that doesn't like being seen. The footage still circulates online, leaving everyone who watches it uneasy. Dogman Mystery. In a quiet town in Brazil, strange noises woke the entire neighborhood one night. No one dared step outside until morning. When daylight came, people gathered in the street and froze. A creature that looked part human, part canine was lying in the middle of the road. Its body showed signs of a struggle, yet no one could explain what it was or where it came from. Locals whispered that maybe it wasn't from this world at all, and that the fight they heard wasn't between animals, but between something far more unknown. Eerie noise. In a small Indonesian town, locals often heard strange noises coming from the forest at night. Tired of the rumors, one man decided to find the source himself. He waited there for hours until, just as he was leaving, something stepped out from the shadows. It was tall and thin, with glowing eyes fixed on him, the same creature locals had whispered about for months. Instead of running, he stood his ground, and after a few tense seconds, the figure turned and disappeared into the trees. From that night on, the woods grew silent. Villagers say the noises never returned. Werewolf experiment. Last year, an unusual clip began circulating online. A man in a lab coat examining what looked like the open mouth of a massive, wolf-like creature. Its sharp teeth and human-like jawline left viewers speechless. No one knew where the footage came from, but the setting looked like a secret facility. Some believed it showed the captured Brazilian werewolf rumored to have been taken in by authorities, while others thought it was a science experiment gone wrong, an attempt to mix human and animal DNA. Whatever it was, the calm way the expert handled that creature's mouth made the whole thing even more unsettling. Roof encounter. This group of YouTubers went to explore an old abandoned house, hoping to make another fun spooky video. They were laughing, setting up their cameras, when one of them looked up and froze. On the roof stood a pale figure, shaped like a person but moving differently. Its face twisted with anger as it leaned forward, almost glaring down at them. Realizing this wasn't a prank or special effect, the group panicked. Cameras dropped, shouts filled the air, and they bolted down the road without looking back. Later, they uploaded only the first part of the footage. The rest, they said, was too disturbing to share. Alone in woods. A group of friends went hiking for fun, recording their adventure. One of them, eager to prove he wasn't scared, wandered off alone. The forest grew quiet, and the air felt heavy. Then he spotted movement, something tall and thin standing between the trees. Its shape looked human, but something about it felt off. He froze, realizing he wasn't alone. Somehow, the figure didn't notice him, and he slowly made his way back to the group without a sound. When he returned, his friends noticed how pale he looked. He never said much about what he saw, but he's never walked those woods again. Field creature. Back in 2009, a farmer in Colombia was tending to his fields when he saw something that froze him in place. Just a few meters ahead, a huge creature resembling a giant anteater was walking upright, sniffing around like it was searching for food. But its size and shape looked completely unnatural. Its arms too long, its body strangely bent. The farmer later said it didn't feel like any animal he'd ever seen, more like something that shouldn't exist at all. Fearing what might happen next, he ran home and never returned to that field again. Abandoned house. A group of friends hiking deep into the woods stumbled upon an old, worn-down house. Though it looked unsafe, curiosity pulled them inside. Dust hung in the air, floorboards creaked, and then, from one of the rooms, a massive creature stepped out. It didn't look human, nor like any known animal. For a few seconds, everyone froze, staring in shock, unable to even shout. Then panic hit. They bolted out of the house and ran through the trees without looking back. That day, they learned that some places in the woods stay abandoned for a reason. Instinct to run. Always listen to your instincts, especially when they tell you to run. In 2015, a man camping alone in the woods began hearing strange noises echoing through the trees. At first, he thought it was just the wind, but soon realized something else was out there. Curious yet uneasy, he stepped out to look around. And that's when he froze. A tall, eerie figure stood ahead, staring back at him. Its shape didn't match anything human. Without thinking twice, he dropped everything and ran, not even looking back. Later, when he returned for his things, the area felt cold and silent, as if something had been waiting for him. Footprints in snow. One freezing night in a quiet Romanian town, heavy snow covered everything. Streets were empty, lights dim, and no one dared to go out, except one boy. He noticed large footprints outside his house, but they didn't look human or animal. Instead of heading home, he followed them, step by step, until they led him to the edge of the woods. Then the prints stopped. That's when he realized whatever made them was nearby. Moments later, a tall creature emerged from the darkness, slowly walking toward him. Terrified, the boy turned and ran home, never speaking of it again. The next morning, the snow was smooth, with no footprints left at all. Lake Van creature. It happened in the remote highlands of eastern Turkey, lies Lake Van, a vast body of water surrounded by volcanic mountains. Locals have told stories for centuries about a mysterious creature living beneath its surface, long, dark, and serpent-like, gliding silently like a wave. In 1997, a teacher managed to film something enormous, rising and sinking again in the water. Years later, new images surfaced showing a massive shadow just beneath the waves, too large to be any known species. Experts called it an aquatic mystery, one that hasn't been seen again in over a decade. Whatever lurks beneath Lake Van seems to prefer staying hidden, and it's done that for centuries. Frogman of Loveland.
Haven't you got enough of Mom and Dad arguing? Did you hear that? Oh my god, go grab Dad.
In the calm town of Loveland, Ohio, locals still talk about the strange frog-like creature said to live near the Little Miami River. Sightings go back to the 1950s. A 4-foot-tall being with glowing eyes, leathery skin, and webbed hands walking on 2 legs. One police officer once saw it jump over a guardrail and vanish into the water, and another spotted it just weeks later in the same place. Years later, a young couple saw movement by the river and went to look closer, only to see a frog-like figure standing upright, staring right at them before disappearing into the night. Sea giant.
First time the giant squid was captured on video in U.S. water.
For generations, sailors have told tales of enormous sea creatures rising from the depths, the kind strong enough to pull ships under. Some call it the Kraken. And in recent years, several strange underwater videos seem to prove something huge is still out there. One famous case from 1977 showed a Japanese fishing crew hauling up the body of a 33-foot-long creature off New Zealand. Long neck, massive fins, and no match to any known animal. Experts argued for years whether it was just a decayed shark or something far older. The mystery was never solved, leaving many to believe ancient sea giants may still roam our oceans. Peru Encounter. A man driving through rural Peru one night took a wrong turn and found himself in a nearly deserted old town. Curious, he stopped his car to look around and noticed a dark, crumbling school building nearby. But as he zoomed in, he saw something that made him freeze. A tall, wolf-like creature walking through the corridors, sniffing the air like it was searching for something. Its outline looked unnatural, its movements too smooth to be human. Without a second thought, he sped off and never went back. Locals later said the building had always been avoided, and now he understood why. Ape Encounter. This tourist exploring the thick woods near Austin, Texas, took a wrong turn and wandered deeper than he planned. The forest was quiet until he heard faint rustling nearby. When he turned, he saw a large creature standing a few yards away, the legendary skunk ape. It looked like a huge, shaggy figure moving slowly through the trees, almost searching for something. The man froze behind a tree, too scared to move until the creature disappeared into the brush. Once it was gone, he quietly made his way back out. Locals believe he was lucky. Not everyone who crosses paths with a skunk ape gets that chance. Folk monster.
Locals in the small town of Falk have said that something inhuman stalks the deep, dark swamps in their region.
For decades, the small town of Fook, Arkansas, has whispered about a creature hiding in its swamps. The Fook monster, or as some call it, the Beast of Boggy Creek, reports describe it as a towering, mud-covered creature with glowing eyes and a strong odor moving silently through the trees. In 2023, new footage reignited the story. A shadowy figure was caught on a trail camera near Sulphur River. Longtime local William Lunsford shared photos, tracks, and witness accounts gathered over years of searching. Even now, when something large moves through the woods of Fook after dark, locals don't think of bears. They think of the creature that never left. Invisible figure.
Over there, look, over there. You see that?
Nearly 2 decades ago, a video appeared online showing 2 men walking through the Appalachian woods. At first, nothing seemed unusual until the bushes beside them started moving, though no wind was blowing. As the camera focused, a faint, human-like outline became visible, as if something transparent stood between the trees. The men whispered in fear, trying to make sense of it. The video's uploader, known as Stingy J, claimed he found the tape after it was hidden for years by a local sheriff's deputy. No signs of editing were ever found. Whatever was recorded that day still remains one of the strangest and most unexplained clips on the internet. Flathead creature.
These humps, and there were 2 or 3 or 4 humps showing at. The thing just subsided in the water and disappeared.
In 2005, Jim and Julia Manley were out on Flathead Lake in Montana when they saw something they couldn't explain. The water was calm and quiet, yet a loud splash broke the silence. Then, just ahead, several dark humps rose from the surface, long, smooth, and moving like a giant serpent. Julia compared it to a creature the size of their boat, gliding effortlessly through the water before disappearing again. Over the years, others captured similar footage across Montana and Alaska. Long shapes, moving in unison, vanishing without a trace. To this day, locals believe something ancient still hides beneath those deep, cold waters. Music session. A late-night jam session in Indonesia turned into something unforgettable. A few friends were recording themselves singing when the camera caught a faint shadow behind them. At first, they laughed it off, maybe a trick of the light, but as they replayed the video, the shape shifted. It grew clearer as it stood right behind one of the musicians. Moments later, the shadow moved toward them. Panic broke out. Guitars dropped, the camera fell, and everyone ran out of the room. When they checked the recording later, the figure was gone from view, but the sound of the guitar still strumming echoed faintly in the background. Honey Island being.
A creature that lives in the swamp, we believe that it still exists. That was back in 1974, but it was actually in 63 that he first saw it.
The wetlands of Louisiana hold many secrets, but none as famous as the Honey Island swamp monster. In the 1960s, a man named Harlan Ford filmed something tall and hairy moving through the swamp. Its shape was human-like, but oddly built, with long arms and an uneven stride. Decades later, new reports came in. Strange tracks, eerie growls, and glimpses of something large walking through the fog. In 2015, footage showed a dark figure wading through shallow water, slow and heavy. Locals say the same creature still wanders those waters, following the misty trails where land meets swamp, always vanishing before anyone gets too close. Eyes in the dark.
Saw this frickin' thing.
Late one night, a man's car broke down near a quiet stretch of woods. While waiting for his cab, he decided to walk a little to pass the time. The forest was still, the air calm, until he sensed something watching him. Turning toward the trees, he froze. 2 glowing eyes were staring straight at him from the darkness. He couldn't make out the body, only the faint shape behind the glare. Heart racing, he hid behind his car and waited. When the cab lights finally appeared, he ran for it without a word. Those few minutes, he said later, felt longer than hours. Hydra above. On a stormy night in Kuala Lumpur, November 15th, 2024, residents filmed something enormous, twisting across the dark sky. Each flash of lightning revealed more. Long necks, wide wings, and a massive shape moving through the clouds. The sight reminded many of the ancient Hydra, a serpent said to regrow its heads each time one was lost. But science also holds a real Hydra. A tiny freshwater organism that never seems to age. It can rebuild itself endlessly, no matter how many times it's divided. Maybe the myth wasn't just a story. Perhaps ancient eyes had already seen what nature quietly kept alive. Jersey creature.
The New Jersey Devil legend is ingrained into the state of New Jersey so much. One of the most famous aspects of the Jersey Devil is its horrific screech or roar.
For centuries, stories from New Jersey's Pine Barrens have described a winged creature unlike any known animal. Locals call it the Jersey Devil, tall, with leathery wings, hooves, and a sharp cry that echoes through the trees. The legend traces back to 1735, when a woman named Mother Leeds gave birth to her 13th child. Soon after, the baby changed before her eyes and disappeared into the woods. In 2015, a driver near Galloway Township claimed to capture a photo of something flying low over a golf course, the same shape described for generations. Some say it's folklore, others swear it still roams the pine forests when night falls. Watcher in forest.
Over where?
The man decided to take his kids for a short walk through the woods, enjoying the peaceful air. But as they ventured deeper, his daughter suddenly stopped. She'd seen something move behind the trees. When he turned, he caught a glimpse of a tall shadow, still and silent, watching them. Without hesitation, he told the kids to leave quietly. Later, when they replayed the footage from their camera, they realized the shape had been there longer than they thought, unmoving, almost waiting. Whatever it was, it didn't follow. But that moment made him certain the forest hides more than just trees.
Hey, what are you doing over there?
Uninvited watcher. In the quiet woods of Indonesia, a group of friends set up camp for the night. They laughed, built a swing, and filmed their fun, unaware that something else was watching. Behind them, a tall, strange figure stood still among the trees, blending with the shadows. It didn't move, but its presence was undeniable, almost as if it was waiting. When the group finally packed up and left, nothing happened. But later, while reviewing their video, they noticed the figure standing just a few feet away. If they had stayed a little longer, who knows what that thing might have done. Kappa of Japan. In Japan's Miyazaki Prefecture, a museum once displayed a strange mummified creature with webbed hands, a shell, and a beak-like face. Locals said it was the remains of a kappa, a mythical water being that lives in ponds and rivers. The legend describes it as small, scaly, and green, with a dish on its head that holds the water, giving it strength. If that water spills, the creature becomes powerless.
A creature that is usually about 5 feet in height, has scaly skin, and is usually blue or green in color.
In 2019, workers draining a pond in Osaka claimed they saw something rise from the mud, short, human-like, covered in slime. They caught it but soon released it, fearing it would bring bad luck. Since then, that pond has remained undisturbed. Thunderbird legend. Across North America, tales tell of a massive bird whose wings could darken the sky, the Thunderbird. The first major sighting dates back to 1890 in Tombstone, Arizona, where ranchers claim to have encountered a creature with smooth skin, a long beak, and wings over 30 feet wide. They said it resembled both a dragon and an alligator. In California, near Lake Elizabeth, once called the Lake of the Devil, witnesses have seen a huge black bird gliding silently above the water.
When things happened that they couldn't explain, it was called the Devil's Lake.
Some believe it emerges from a hidden portal beneath the lake, appearing only during violent storms. Even today, reports of winged shadows still come from the desert skies. Live stream. During a late-night live stream, a man explored a forest while chatting with his viewers. Everything seemed normal until his camera caught something moving in the distance. A shadowy figure appeared between the trees, its shape unclear, but definitely not human. Before he could react, it stepped closer, then suddenly rose from the ground and vanished into thin air. His viewers flooded the chat in panic, but the man was frozen, unable to move or speak. When he finally ended the stream, he checked the footage, and the figure was still there, clear as day, watching him before it disappeared. Baby-faced creature. While filming the countryside of Portugal, a tourist spotted something strange near a field. At first glance, it looked like a small monkey, but as he zoomed in, its face became visible. Not animal, not human, but somewhere in between. Its body moved slowly, as if unbothered, almost peaceful. It didn't attack or approach. It just stared at him, as if warning him to leave. The man quietly backed away, still recording. Later, when he reviewed the video, he noticed that the creature's eyes followed him even after he had turned around. Locals now call that field the Watcher's Ground. Gorilla crow.
You have to check out this bizarre bird that's taking the internet by storm, and we're going to tell you right now, this is real. Look at the images here. This is a crow spotted at a mall in Japan.
In 2019, people at a mall in Nagasaki, Japan, stopped in disbelief when they saw a crow unlike any other, larger than normal, with thick, dark feathers and a body that looked almost muscular. It perched upright like a person. Videos of it spread across the internet within hours, earning it the name the gorilla crow. Some claimed it was an undiscovered species, others thought it was an illusion caused by lighting and posture. Still, no one could explain how it balanced so perfectly or why it appeared so massive. Since then, sightings of similar crows have been reported, always alone, always watching. Snow Goblin. In a quiet Ukrainian town, a tourist arrived just as heavy snow began to fall. Locals warned him not to go near the woods during snowfall, but he brushed it off and went anyway. The forest was calm, almost peaceful, until something appeared through the fog. A short, pale figure with a twisted face stood ahead, its eyes fixed on him. It didn't move. It just watched. For a few seconds, the man couldn't even breathe. Then he turned and ran, leaving his camera behind. When villagers saw the footage later, they said he had met the Snow Goblin, a creature said to wander those woods during winter nights. Michigan Encounter. It happened in the thick forests of Michigan. A man went camping alone, hoping to enjoy a quiet night under the stars. He couldn't find a proper spot, so he settled near a narrow trail surrounded by tall trees. As darkness fell, he began hearing heavy footsteps, slow, deep, and powerful, as if the ground itself was moving. Then, through the trees, a massive shadow passed by. It stood upright, taller than any human, with thick hair covering its body. The man realized it wasn't an illusion. He was watching a real Bigfoot. Holding his breath, he backed away and quietly left the area before it could notice him. Factory footage. A factory worker of a small Peruvian town was caught stealing supplies late one night. When the guards checked the security footage, they didn't expect to uncover something far stranger. On the grainy screen, just outside the factory gates, a strange figure appeared, thin, pale, and barely visible, like a shadow that had shape. It moved awkwardly, almost floating, before vanishing near the edge of the woods. The guards froze, replaying the clip again and again. Whatever it was, it wasn't human. Since that night, workers claim to hear whispers near that same area, though no one dares to check the cameras after midnight anymore. Beach being. During a family trip to Australia, a mother filmed her kids playing on the beach after dinner. The scene was warm and joyful until she reviewed the video later. In the background, something pale was crawling across the sand, moving low and fast, almost blending into the dark shoreline. Its body was thin, its movements unnatural. The family hadn't noticed it at the time, but it was clear in the footage. Many who saw the clip believe it could be the Rake, a creature from old legends said to wander near water at night. The mother deleted the video soon after, too frightened to keep it. Cat-like entity. The man was walking near the edge of a forest when he noticed movement in the bushes. Expecting a stray animal, he turned on his flashlight and froze. A creature with the body of a cat, but an oddly long, flexible tail stepped out. Its posture was strange, almost human-like, and it stared at him with calm, unblinking eyes. The man stayed still, unsure what to do. The creature didn't react. It just walked past him and disappeared into the woods. Later, he described it as something that didn't belong here, possibly an experiment gone wrong, or a being from deep within the forest. Open discussion. It was December 2013, and a strange clip surfaced online from Oregon, Ohio. The short video showed a pale, human-shaped figure crouching near a roadside, half hidden by trees. Its movements were smooth but unnatural, and when it stood, its arms and legs seemed far too long. Locals began calling it the Lizard Man of Oregon, linking it to old stories about reptilian creatures seen near the region's rivers. Some thought it looked too real to be computer-generated, while others dismissed it as a prank, but the original uploader never revealed who filmed it or where exactly it happened. To this day, no one has explained what was really caught on camera. What do you think about it? Comment below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.